Absolutely
Those are
right.
his favorite things, though, like racism guy and person who portrays a marginalized group poorly during these troubling times. I love the final line is honestly poetic. We will endure this together as a family, capital F.
Here we go.
Dead furious if it stands for love sucking toes.
So we have two sides of the spectrum here.
Josh, what is he good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Y'all hear about the Battle of the Joshes?
I'm the one that brought it up. Of course I heard about it.
Dan, I don't know if you've heard about it, so let me tell you a little bit about it. This man named Josh Swain specifically, set up the Battle of the Joshes. I don't know how many people were in that group chat. I do not remember that off the top of my head.
I mean, I have the post in front of me. It was only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Joshes in the top bar. But whether or not that actually is the true number of Joshes remains to be seen.
See, who knows? But I just love the fact that, you know, last year, a man who was bored with the pandemic decided to set up a fight with a bunch of other people that had the same name.
Mm-hmm.
And then no one thought about it until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now here we are with the big Josh fight.
Hashtag Josh fight.
I think
I'm here
there was
for
a subreddit for it and everything.
There might have been. I was not that deep into the Josh lore.
I wasn't either until this week. I think I just saw a screenshot from, I think it was like our Josh fight.
That's very good.
With the OG Josh Swain talking about it, how all the Josh Swains would rock, paper, scissors to see who got to continue to be Josh Swain. But any Josh was invited to participate in the pool noodle fight.
Mm-hmm. Which is the part that frankly really matters.
Honestly. And you know what? I love it.
Dude,
I saw a bunch of pictures.
It was so fun. It looked like it was, what if the Area 51 raid was actually a good time?
No, it looked like, oh, this is Philly Furnace Party again.
Oh, okay, I get that. I can see that.
That was the energy I got. It was a lower production Philly Furnace Party.
I can back that. Okay.
Because the Furnace Party, you know, that had a DJ, that had a sound system, that had a food cart, that had a custom made beer. What'd you say, Jackson?
So this Josh fight. I believe it was for the rights to the name, correct?
Correct.
This is correct.
Everyone gets to keep the name. Everyone else has to change their name.
Yeah, I don't want to give it any attention or care about it until I know that every participant who did not win changed their name.
That is understandable.
Otherwise, it's not funny and you're lame.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna talk about it, be about it. Change your name, losers.
Honestly, good on them for giving. I don't know if the youngest kid there that won, the 5-year-old, I don't know if his last name is Swain because he was winning in the pool noodle fight.
No, he was not a Swain. The two.
Okay.
I was reading up on it earlier today because I had a long train ride and was very bored. God. So I was reading up on it. There were 2 Josh Swains that showed up. One, the original one from Arizona, and one from Nebraska. The Nebraska one lost the rock paper scissors. And then the pool noodle fight. Apparently the fight only lasted like 60 seconds. Like it took note because it was very simple pool noodle. Like you've all done pool noodle fights. You know the rules. You get hit, you're out. Yeah, it's easy peasy. Yeah, exactly. I was reading that highlights included my personal favorite character of the whole thing, Big Josh. Let me see if I can find a picture of Big Josh. Let's see.
So, Big Josh, are you talking about Matt Osborne, the American pro wrestler?
I am not. I am absolutely not. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture of Big Josh.
I'm sorry, what's Matt Osborne, the American pro wrestler, and why does he go by Big Josh?
Well, it was his debut name.
I'm a huge fan of Big Josh. Here, I'm posting it in the host chat. Who is just a unit, dude. He's just here. He's got Wolverine pool noodle hands.
I love that.
Apparently,
Big Josh was here to party.
On his back, it said dad bod, which is doubly like, which turns it from being like, ooh man, was he aware, to being, oh man, he was super aware.
I don't think that there's a way he wasn't aware, if we're being
honest. Dude,
honest.
I don't know. Sometimes people are stupid. That's all I'm saying.
Aware of what?
Just the whole look that he was putting off.
You think that look is a dad bod look?
No. What? No.
Wait. What?
What are you talking?
He has Big Josh paint on his chest. What is he not going to be aware of? He painted Big Josh on his chest.
Bruh, some people are bad at life. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I appreciated him. That's all I said. And you're really reading into this.
Oh, well, you said the dad bod thing brought it. I don't know what the dad bod thing. That makes it more confusing.
I do like how he blacked out his eyes.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's great, too. I'm trying to see if I
He
can
went, like-
find.
He committed to the whole look, and I appreciate it. I also just love that he did noodle gloves in addition to his noodle hands. Like, this man was here to kick ass. I do want to know what LST stands for.
I also kind of do, but not enough to look into it. I'm scrolling through to see if anyone put. There was a big thread
Love
that somebody
sucking
put
toes.
that had the entire that the guy was there and he wrote out a whole like post about it. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
If it doesn't stand for love sucking toes, I am going to be pretty upset.
I
Here it is,
will
Josh
be
Fight summary. Here we
dead
go.
furious if it stands for love sucking toes.
So we have two sides of the spectrum here.
We've got, let's see. We've got both Josh Swains participated. Medieval Josh, who was in full chainmail armor. 2 Spider Joshes. Josh Wick, who had pool noodles mounted to 2 electric drills for spin attack capabilities. A furry Josh. Big Josh, obviously. Little Josh, the best Josh. Luchador Josh, and Roman Centurion Josh. Just as highlights.
Wouldn't it kind of suck if like Big Josh showed up and there was just like a bigger Josh that wasn't even going by Big Josh?
Absolutely.
Like,
That
how
would be
big of
great.
a loser would you feel like if you're like, yeah, I'm Big Josh, and then some other guy's like, yeah, I'm just Josh, and he's bigger than you?
I will
That'd
say,
be.
apparently, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was super shitty of me.
No, I'm just saying that'd be awkward.
No, it'd be super awkward.
I want to know how tall Big Josh is.
Just from like I see him in a picture. He's tall. Here, hold on. Let me copy. Let me see.
Well, that's
this
what I'm
little-
thinking, because like I know people are far away from him in the background, but like the one Spider Josh that's about like 20 feet back.
This is the thing I'm
He's-
reading off of.
Okay,
You see him, and he is quite tall.
and other Spider Josh are about 20 feet back, but they look like children, and I know
Yeah.
they're not children.
No, Big Josh is like he's a full like almost head and shoulders above everyone else in the crowd. Just at a glance. Like scroll that, get down to like halfway down, and you see a picture of him pretty close up, like comparatively speaking.
Oh
Right
my
after-
gosh!
Yeah, no, the man is Big Josh. He knew what he was about. I'm seeing someone who probably is using a 6-foot tripod, and that man has got to be 7 feet at least.
I don't think Big Josh is 7 feet tall.
Okay, 6'6", fine.
Okay, I'll buy 6'6". I just have a
I
hard
don't
time
know.
believing he was 7
it's-
foot tall.
No, back on this. He's a large lad. He could be up like above 6'6".
He's a large lad, but I don't think that he's much above 6'6", because I'm
Oh.
not going to assume everyone in the crowd is that tall.
That's fair. I assume everyone in the crowd is about 6 feet, just on average. But my point
That
is,
makes no
Big
sense.
Josh is Big Josh. He was absolutely the best. So yeah, from this thread, rules
No,
are
Little Josh was the best.
Well, Little Josh is the winner in the One Tree Josh, but Big Josh just put off the best energy.
Oh.
No headshots, no hits below the belt. You're hit with a pool noodle, you're dead. Last Josh standing is the winner, and the final winner was Little Josh, who is great. After the first fight, pool noodle combat wasn't open to the general public for fun rather than glory. Josh Prime raised over, this is 6,000. I heard 8,000 rather. He raised
I also
over
heard
$8,000 for the Children's Hospital and a truckload of non-perishables for the local food bank, alongside the other Josh Fight attendees. He offered masks to any maskless people he met, and did his best to keep things as safe and socially distanced as he could, despite the ungodly amount of people who showed up to this random fucking field outside of Lincoln, Nebraska.
I do love the fact that the original spot they picked turned out to be like they didn't look into it at all, and it turned out to be some guy's private property. He's like, do not hold a fight on my land. This is my field.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I am a huge fan of Josh Fight. I really like the threads that are going around that say that every year they should do it, but with a different name. And I know that's not going to happen because this is a one time, like this is one of those like one time things.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do like I do really like the idea of every year just a single name.
Just a good time.
It looks like it's an
Also,
absolute blast.
I will say that I am a little bitter at the pandemic for killing Furnace Party 2, because seeing all this,
Dude,
Furnace Party 2 was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
It
people
definitely would have happened. It had
Mhm.
good energy, and this thing coming in like this just proves people were looking for a dumb festivity.
This was I think what you were talking about, Noah, which is a good time.
Yeah, when's the Gathering of the Juggalos going to be this year?
I don't know. Didn't it? I know it got canceled last year.
It did because of the pandemic, and I respect the ICP for it, but I expected none less from them. I'm looking it up.
August 5th. No, this is about last year's. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be first week of August. It looks like the 4th to the 8th.
We going? Where's it at?
That's a good question.
Gathering of the Juggalos 2021. Of course, they don't have a website. They have a Facebook page. I love it. Incredible.
It's Indiana. Hold the phone. I don't think it's that far away, relatively. Assuming that this website's correct, we're looking at less than 8 hours away. Oh, no artists announced yet for the lineup. However, yeah. Official website. What's the official website? Oh, Juggalo Holy shit, Jackson. Oh man, you were incorrect when you said there was no information. There's juggalogathering.com.
Oh, see, maybe because I looked up 2021, Juggalo Gathering didn't come up because I've got like musical festival wizard and then a Facebook page. This is a single image.
This is a single image.
No, fuck you.
I just love this. It's just a square image of, hey, we're postponing the gathering of the Juggalos because of COVID-19. And I'm so happy. This is exactly what I expected from juggalogathering.com.
Holy cow. In closing, we want everyone to heed the words of Fred Fury and Flip the Rat. Be safe, watch your step, and take it easy. You can't replace what you mean to our team. Without you, tell me where the fuck we'd be.
I just love the we refuse to risk even one Juggalo life by hosting a gathering. There's just
during these troubling times. I love the final line is honestly poetic. We will endure this together as a family, capital F, and the gathering, capital G, of the Juggalos, capital J, will return in 2021 stronger, bigger, and better than ever. Whoop whoop.
There's just like, I'm very happy that they're being responsible. I'm very happy that like everything about this is good and makes me happy. Their responsibility, their like commitment to making sure this doesn't like cause bigger problems internally or nationally. But also, you cannot expect me to take it serious. Who's Fred Fury and Flip the Rat? Like, oh my gosh, that's just an album by ICP.
Okay.
It has to have been a character on the album.
Honestly, Juggalos are just, whew, just scrolling through this page, it's just blowing my mind.
What a maze. Or what? Why did I say what a maze? Okay, so yeah, Fred Fury and Flip the Rat are I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this might be a remix. No, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that this album exists, and they decided to quote characters from their albums that had come out the year before.
Incredible.
I
love scrolling through these posts on this Facebook page here because it's just like a lot of like Juggalos being like posting like an hour-long live video.
Are you kidding
them
me?
Just like smoking weed. No, this is an hour-and-a-half long video of a guy just like smoking weed. What the?
Are you talking about the public Facebook group with 12,000 members? Okay,
it's probably the one. It's the Gathering of the Juggalos 2021. But anyway, are we going?
I want to.
Okay.
I love this mod post at the top of the thing, saying that he's sick of waking up to 9 messages saying members have violated the code on hate speech.
Yeah, it's bad.
Stalk each other's profiles to your heart content. Just make sure you're commenting on character rather than skin color. No, what? No. There's just a bunch of people here asking questions about Juggalo bands.
It's bad, man. Ooh, sorry. Got a big yawn there. Yeah, man, this is just I don't like the thing is like I'm like, I'd want to go to the gathering of the Juggalos. I don't know that I would have that great of a time.
I think that's probably like a good way to think about it, though. I think that's a safe way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, not that like Juggalos. I don't think they're like dangerous or anything. I'm not gonna get like mugged, but like, I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't like had that much fun. I wouldn't have a rip roaring time, you know.
I think you got to be careful because I think the real enjoyable part of it is I feel like the real enjoyable part of it is the fact that it's just wow, my words are getting messed up on
You
me.
got
Half a
this,
sec.
Noah.
I believe in you.
I think the novelty of the Juggalos is the biggest attraction. Especially not knowing what bands are going to be there yet, because the bands are obviously you're going to have a good time with the live music.
You might.
I'm going to have a good time with the live music.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because it's well, here's the thing: it's not just Juggalo bands; it's a lot of
It's
different
not.
bands. A lot of rappers come in, a lot of punk bands come in. It's just a good time. But I don't know. I feel like the fun of just going there to observe Juggalo action would wear off pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's my fear. And also, I don't want to like, I don't know, go in and to treat Juggalos like some kind of like spectacle.
That too. That
You know,
too.
like,
I've always felt like Juggalos wanted to be treated like not like in a put them in a zoo and make fun of them, but like I always felt like part of the brand was being the spectacle.
yeah, but not at the gathering. That's where the family goes. You know.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's
know.
like going to your
I
grandma's
distinctly do
house
not know.
and then saying, "Hey, you filthy animals." It's not cool.
Oh.
I don't know if I know exactly what Noah means by that, but yeah.
I also don't think I know what Noah means by that, but you know what?
I don't know what Noah. I gotta be honest. I haven't slept well this week. I was up too late last night for having to get up for work today, and it's
How
just
late were you up?
I didn't get home until 11.
Yikes!
So sometime after 11.
No, that's when you got. I was up so late, and then
Well, yeah. Well, when I have to wake up at 5:30, that's pretty late. I try to get my solid 8 hours.
You're supposed to be like, how late were you? And you say, I was up so late, and then you crack a joke. You know?
But there is no joke. There is no joke. It was just me being like, oh, I'm so tired.
Is there a spoon?
There's always a spoon.
How tired are you?
No. I thought you didn't want me to do it.
I'm trying so hard. I just don't know how this joke works.
No one has not experienced comedy before, Jackson. You got to remember.
Look it up sometime though. It's called Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Is it really a Seinfeld bit?
No, I'm just
No,
okay.
comedy is.
Kramer.
Oh, okay.
Dan,
okay,
please
okay.
keep up, Mister.
Sorry.
I know what comedy is.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of knowing what comedy is, you see Elon fucking Musk is hosting SNL.
No, he's not.
That's the
Why?
stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. May 8th.
Dumbass shit.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's Elon Musk and Miley Cyrus, and a lot of people are like, why not just let Miley host the whole thing?
Yeah, honest to God, I was just gonna say I'm fine with Miley Cyrus. Good on her, but
while I do hate Elon Musk with every ounce of my being,
mhm.
I don't think SNL is some kind of like beacon of class solidarity.
No. It's definitely not.
No.
I just don't know. There's no point in bringing him on, in my opinion. There's like, why? Why would you?
Because now a ton of people are going to watch it and everyone's talking about it.
I mean, that is true.
Yes.
I mean, I'll end up watching it anyway, but that's because I watch SNL with Michelle like once a week. So like that's just a thing I do. It has nothing to do with him. Hey,
I've never watched SNL before.
It's okay.
Like not because like, I don't want to or anything. I don't know. It's just never.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, you're missing out, dude. Greatest, funniest thing I've ever seen." I don't know. I've talked about it on the show before. I think modern day SNL gets a lot of hate that isn't deserved.
Yeah, I got nothing against it. I've never watched it. Didn't like grow up with it or anything. So
fair enough. But yeah, no, I hate that. I hate that he's on SNL. I hate that they're giving him a platform of any kind.
He has it. It's not like increasing his.
Oh, I'm aware, but
notoriety.
But in the same way that like, I wouldn't want Donald Trump hosting SNL. Like, I don't want to see terrible people get another platform. Like it absolutely would not change his current base, but there's no reason to fucking allow that shit to fucking perpetuate.
Yeah, but NBC doesn't. They only seek to benefit from him.
No, I absolutely. I'm not saying it's a bad business decision. I just hate it.
Yeah, I mean, but like everything they've ever done is not in the interest of people who are like depending upon them.
Well, of course.
NBC Universal is owned. Who owns NBC? Is it
Universal? Isn't it?
NBC
Universal.
Universal is a subsidiary of GM? No, GE, right?
I'm not sure.
Parent company. I'm looking up real quick.
I got it.
NBC parent company.
NBC
About
Universal
all I know
is
for sure.
the parent company. Comcast. It's Comcast. Comcast and GE own NBC
Okay.
Universal.
Yeah, so it's not like they're like, oh no, a rich guy's getting on here. They're like, yeah,
No.
rich guy's getting on here. It's gonna suppress the working class more.
Gonna suppress the working class. Hey.
Their favorite thing.
But, yeah, you know, it's. I don't know. I just feel like they usually bring on funny people.
That's kind of how I feel about it too. Or at least they try to pretend like they do.
Anime pictures. Are anime memes not funny to you, Noah?
No.
No.
Elon does like to pretend that he's a meme lord.
He
But
sure do
he's-
be out here pretending, huh?
Are you telling me he's not?
Yeah. My personal favorite thing I saw is that I mean, firstly, I think we can all agree anyone who thinks he's making his own memes is kind of dumb.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
no.
he's definitely not. But whoever he lifted a meme from recently was just like, hey, Elon, glad you liked the meme. Could really do with $80,000. And Elon deleted the post.
That's very, very funny. Fucked up, but very funny. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that that's where we live in. But the fact that he
Wait.
just straight up deleted it is very funny. Didn't even try.
What do you
pretend.
mean about the world that we live in where he's just like, yeah, I stole it and what of it? Or
I mean, yeah, I hate that part. And that's a thing that happens across every form of media, full stop.
yeah,
And I hate that's where we live in. But there is something very funny about just a random, like because Elon could have just said, no, fuck you, and just left it up and nothing would have happened. And I think it's very funny that he just up and deleted it.
Gotta save face. Otherwise,
Does
how
he?
will Reddit think he's swagging?
swagging.
Bilbo Swaggins.
Bro, if people think he's
No, his
not
name's
cool, how is he
Elon.
gonna get on the Joe Rogan podcast again?
Man, I keep seeing things about how Joe Rogan, especially since the Spotify deal, everyone's just not, like nobody gives a shit about him anymore, or not nearly as much as they used to.
He became less accessible. There's no
Yeah.
point. Here's an off the air promise. We will never ever sign if we ever became big enough to sign with a single distribution site. We'd never do it. How much money would they? There's no amount of money that they could shovel at you to be worth cutting out 99% of your distribution, even if it's Spotify, one of the top podcast sites, right?
I do not make that promise. I'm going to be 100 because I've told you before. Sell out, sell out, sell out. What you do is you sell out and then go start a new podcast. That's essentially the same goddamn thing. Fuck that.
No.
Spotify comes to me. Spotify comes to you right now and offers you $100 million for us to go exclusively to Spotify. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna take that money.
I mean, they wouldn't.
That's the thing. You need to assume that
You're
we're in
setting
a
up
world that we already have any sort of clout that Spotify wants us. Is the thing. We have to start at that step. Spotify wants to have us.
Joe
And
Rogan.
once we move on from Spotify wants to have us, no, I would not cut out that much of my distribution.
Wild. Fair enough.
Especially not for like Spotify is literally the only one I would consider, and I really wouldn't. Like if Apple did it, not enough people listen to Apple Podcasts to make that worth it.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely
no.
not for Google. Absolutely not for anything else.
I'm assuming
There's no point.
that in the process of making a deal like that, you are saying this is enough money that I no longer care about the podcast that I'm doing, right?
Mhm.
Like that's
And if
what
you're
it's at.
someone who's already mega rich like Joe Rogan and you're already set in life and everything is already done for you and this
That's
is just
fair.
a hobby, then that's different. But if you're
that's kind of where
someone
I'm
because
like,
you got to sign into the deal, you're going to have clauses that you can't just stop making the podcast. You have to continue making it for X number of years on their site. Kind of like what Ninja did with Mixer.
mm-hmm.
Man, that was funny.
But you know what? When he finally left, they fucking bought him out the rest of the way, and he was able to fucking go back to Twitch and continue doing his thing.
Yeah, they bought him out because their stream service went down. It was definitely something they had to do, not because they were nice people.
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying, though. And I would wonder if Joe Rogan wasn't planning and or isn't still planning to do the exact same thing.
Destroy Spotify so he can go back to streaming everywhere.
But as soon as like his Spotify exclusivity is up, just go back to streaming everywhere.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying $100 million is a lot of money. That's where I'm standing.
Yeah, but that's what you're saying. That's the problem is nowhere in this situation was like, I don't want to sell exclusivity to a company when it means that we have to cut off distribution and monitor what we make. And you're like, yeah, but what if they gave us $100 million right now? I'd say yes. They're not going to give it. They probably didn't even give Joe Rogan $100 million. And if they did,
that was the deal. $100 million.
That's the number they gave him.
Yeah,
that's
but
stupid
even
as hell.
then, like
right now, if they signed us a 5-year deal right now, where we are at right now for $100 million, yeah, I'd probably do that. You know why?
Yeah,
we could make the off-the-air content house. We could all move in together.
Well, also, we could just have $100 million out of something that is not worth $100 million.
Yeah.
For next to no reason.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the money grubber in me. But I genuinely can't fathom having a podcast, specifically a podcast of any size or clout that wasn't like, unless we're literally talking, every human being in America listens to the podcast, and even then, $100 million is a lot of fucking money. Like I can't.
And no one will buy anything for less than it's worth. Spotify would not have paid Joe Rogan $100 million if they did not think they were going to make over $100 million on that.
Of course, yeah.
So then just do your own thing and make your own $100 million like he was going to over the next 5 years anyway.
That's not. I think I understand what you're trying to say, and I don't think that $100 million maybe banking on a project you're working on is very, very different than $100 million in the bank right now. Well, let's pull it down to like realistic numbers, right?
So let's put some constraints here. Let's say it's a 5-year deal. That means you're getting $20 million a year. Now let's say that your podcast is making. There's no way he's making less than 18 million a year, hypothetically, right? So this is definitely a good deal for him, assuming that Spotify doesn't cut into.
You can still do your ad reads and shit like that too.
Yeah, because he's still making that money.
Yeah, he's still making his money on the side. He still gets his merch, but we don't know any of the other details about his platform exclusivity. Maybe they get a cut of all his ads and yada yada yada. We don't know.
I'd be very surprised if they took a cut of any like that. That would turn it from being a very understandable thing for him to do to a very, why would you choose to make less money? And I'm not advocating making less money.
I'm not really concerned about Joe Rogan. I'm just saying, like, damn, no one's offering us $100 million. And if we were in a position where people were offering us $100 million, I think we wouldn't necessarily need it.
Yeah, we could go back on my word now as a nobody podcast where I'm like, we would never do that. If we suddenly become a multi-million-dollar enterprise, that's totally different.
And then we wouldn't need $100 million. We had money anyway. Why am I gonna sell out doing something that's fun for money I don't need?
Can you imagine like having to if we sign some sort of deal and then all of a sudden if one of us is sick and misses an episode, that's suddenly like a contract violation?
Perish. But also none of us would work because we'd be making,
Yeah, we would just be this.
Yeah,
But I also wouldn't sign a contract if I had it just not something I'm interested in.
Man, a little under $7 million a year. I could live on that with so much extra money.
A little under $7
It's not even funny.
With you, I could live with like $12,000 a year. That'd be nice.
You'd still be working, right?
No, I'm just saying like in general.
Oh, okay.
I can't because my bills amount to more than that a year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked about it elsewhere, and I don't know if I've talked about it specifically on the podcast. What like my broad strokes dollar amount would be to be like, hey, what is your sellout limit? What is the point where you throw away your creative integrity for money? And I think for me, it's very low.
For me,
I think it's impossible to talk about when no one's offering you it.
I think it's
Genuinely.
I actually no, I can agree with that. Because I can talk a big game about how I'm like, no, my artistic integrity is not for sale until like an obscenely high amount of money.
But you're also not in a position where you
High hands me $30 and says make a song about the generator and Frostpunk. But that's not selling out my artistic integrity. That's just, hey, make me a meme boy.
But it was all. I mean, a little bit it was, right? Like, because it was you literally just finished talking about at the time how you didn't like that kind of music. It is literally paying you money to make something that you would not otherwise make,
or would money from a friend as a joke.
That sure
that it definitely does change it in my mind.
That's fair. That's very fair. It's literally like me making Edge draw fucking Overwatch fan art back in the day.
Yeah, Overwatch incest fan art.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so that's fair. I can get that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like way more desperate for money right now. But like, I don't know. For me, it's a very low amount, even hypothetically. But I agree that like you can't know for sure until that number is on the table. It's like one of those many things that like, how much is it really worth to you? You can't know until you actually see it.
And I also think it's kind of pointless talking about selling something that's not like, you can't be like, yeah, I wouldn't sell my catalog of X when for $100 million when your catalog of X is
worth $5,
worth $100 million, let alone 35. So it's it's hard to be like, not that I'm saying like you don't have any like catalog of work or anything. I'm just saying like it's kind of
it's too hypothetical to be usable, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's far too hypothetical to actually like hit that realm of like, yeah, I gotta say, if ExxonMobil came to my house and was like, hey man, we want your banjo licks, I'd say no way, fuck you.
Speaking of Disney, do you see the guy who's mad that Disney's too woke for him to enjoy it?
I'm sorry. Is it because they fired what's her
you
name?
Didn't hear about that?
No, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Disney guy. He wrote an article about how the magic at Disney is no longer it no longer hits anymore because of how over woke Disney is.
Disney is over woke.
Yeah.
Did you share this somewhere?
No, but I might have liked some things about it on Twitter.
I love this.
Okay, because I've seen it. This guy thinks wokeness is ruining Disney.
What a
woke
take.
Disney guy.
Jonathan Van Bosker. He's he's a lawyer in he was for the Orlando paper.
So I can't actually read the article because it's locked behind a paywall. However,
of course.
My personal favorite thing is someone made an edit of it that was what do you call them? Talking about how in Rapunzel she has bare feet, or in Tangled Rapunzel has bare feet. However, everyone playing Rapunzel in the park wears shoes. I'm sorry, it's just disgusting that her feet are covered the whole time. It totally breaks immersion.
Oh no.
People thought that was a real screenshot.
Oh no.
Yeah, but the thing I just posted is actually from the article though. The more Disney moves away from the values and visions of Walt Disney, the less Disney World means to me.
Man, okay.
Yikes.
Walt Disney is an actual Nazi, is the problem.
Yeah,
like,
unironically.
Let me tell you about this amazing podcast I recently discovered called Eat the Rich. I haven't listened to a single one of their episodes except for these two on Disney, but I'm sold and I'm definitely going to listen to more of it. But a podcaster that I follow guested just talking about Walt Disney and Walt Disney World. And it's dead insane.
Yeah, dude.
It's dead insane. Like, he used to love Charlie Chaplin. Loved the guy.
Until
and then,
he did
Chaplin was he's a socialist. And he got kicked out of the country. And Walt distanced himself immediately, saying, well, it's just a shame. I do think he's, being misled by these ideas. He helped he helped get people arrested for being like and testified against people who he said were communists and Nazis, or I'm sorry, communists and socialists.
Wild.
Yeah. I
well,
mean,
Walt
that's
Disney didn't Walt Disney
nothing
multiple
touching his like
times try to do
insane union busting.
a full-on cyberpunk. This is a city that is completely owned by the company.
Epcot.
Everything was it Epcot? Yeah, it was Epcot.
It was
You're
supposed
right.
to be
And he
Epcot.
tried to do it a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Company town. No
Full
slums
on-
because we won't let them be there.
Full on, not even it's straight. That's literally just out of cyberpunk. It's literally out of Shadowrun. And I am floored, fascinated, but floored.
I mean, these ideas came from somewhere.
Wasn't one approved or in talks to be approved in Nevada or something recently?
Why is Creed trending in the United States? Sorry, I just
Who
opened Twitter to
knows?
try and find the article. But it is like, I've never even opened up the Orlando Sentinel website before, and it's blocked behind a paywall. You can't read a single article.
Yeah, it was. It was in Nevada. There was a bill that was proposed that would would allow tech company. What is the exact thing? Would allow a tech company.
Oh yeah, to make company towns and
Company
like,
towns, yeah. Like blockchains to effectively form separate local governments in Nevada, governments that would carry the same authority as a county, including the ability to impose taxes, form school districts and justice courts, and provide government services, to name a few duties.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly uncomfortable, and I hate that a lot.
I hate it a lot.
Didn't Elon Musk want to build a town in Texas? Wasn't it like one of his recent things?
Probably.
He definitely did.
He
definitely wanted to.
He definitely did, but I don't know the exact article, so I don't want to be like 1,000% certain. But also, it's Elon Musk, so almost definitely. Yeah, dude, eat the rich.
I love this. I just love this article so much. This man's just talking about like how Disney's wokeness is ruining things when like they're removing actual offensive caricatures from the park.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, exactly.
it's just like, I'm sorry, you can't have your like racist stereotype African villagers as part of your thing, or your stereotypical Native American caricatures as like a character in this park anymore. But normal people should not be mad about this.
No, normal
I mean,
people
that was,
shouldn't
like,
be mad about it. You're
Those
absolutely
are
right.
his favorite things, though, like racism guy and person who portrays a marginalized group poorly. Those are
Yeah,
his favorite things, man, in the whole place.
that's my favorite Walt Disney story.
This
I
guy
love
did
the
also
favorite-
mention how he misses Song of the South, and he's mad that Disney like gave it the X.
Oh,
I love Disney movies like racist guy.
did either of you ever watch Song of the South?
No,
Good.
I heard the
you?
song because it was on a compilation of like Disney songs that we had on tape.
Oof.
Sing
It was like it was just I don't remember enough of it off the top of my head.
Aw.
But it was what do you call it? It was just like a bunch of different clips from the movies that were like big hit songs all
Mhm.
throughout. And yeah, sure. At the time I didn't really care. But now I'm like,
you were young.
oh,
How would you know?
that was just a minstrel show where they actually hired an African American to play the part instead of having someone in blackface.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Uh,
not cool at all.
Song of the South and what's the fucking other one? The one that tries to make you feel bad for the one that brought back the KKK.
Wait, what?
What movie brought back?
Are you
the
talking about
KKK?
Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, those two.
That's
We had,
Disney?
No. No.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
bringing it up because I
Okay.
was going somewhere with this.
I was gonna say.
When I was in college, we'd have all sorts of film history classes. There was a whole like 2-week period where they were like, "Hey, we're gonna watch these movies," and that's what we're doing. And I'm gonna make a claim that I don't care how important certain movies are to film history, specifically in the context of Birth of a Nation. You shouldn't watch them. I know that's a hot take, especially among certain filmmakers, but
I mean,
Are you telling me that a Klan propaganda film maybe isn't
a
good movie to keep alive.
Specifically partially responsible for the return of the KKK in its time. Yes, I am saying that it should not be a thing.
I think that you shouldn't recreationally watch it, but I think within like a classroom setting where you're learning and like you are being presented with information surrounding and about like the film and the filmmakers, and then also like the dialogue that was like open because of it and the problems with that. I think it's okay to talk about problematic things if you're like, yeah, this is a thing that sucks ass.
And also, here, let's talk about it. I think it's understandable. I think that even contextualizing it as this is very important, even just saying things like that kind of makes it
that's a dangerous game.
Well, maybe something as like your entry film class should not have touched this.
No, it was not an entry film class. It was a film history. It was like film history 2. It was
right,
a couple.
But that's what I'm saying is
year
like
or two in.
Something that like stuff like this maybe belongs in like an elective rather than in part of your main like degree.
I can back that.
I disagree actually.
Ooh, okay.
I think what I personally think is I don't think it should be in film history too, because I don't think it's like part of the story of film. I think what they should do is what a lot of a lot of schools with like the computer science programs specifically are doing a lot of things where they're like, hey, we should talk about how like fucking racist and how problematic and how like basically you name a baddist, the program is doing that because it's computer science. It's like a cis white male dominated field, and they try to keep it that way, especially from the top down. I think what they should do personally with like those kind of like films is they should put them into a class that would be mandatory for a major in film, because it's important to analyze and look at the way that like marginalized groups are treated through film. And I think that should be its own class where it's like, hey, racism in film or something.
There was a class like that, and I think I agree. I didn't take that one. I took one of the parallels. That was I could not tell you what it was because it wasn't that like it wasn't a great class. But I would agree. I think that there is a conversation to be had with that, but I think that the conversation absolutely should be, like you said, a baseline. We are talking about this in the context of its problematicness first, and anything else that it may or may not be secondarily.
Yeah, and I think if you were watching something like Birth of a Nation, you should talk about how they deeply root that like propaganda element into the way that like the film is made. They can be like, yeah, so that line they just delivered is actually meant to be something that like is like a misleading sticking point. It's things like that. But I don't think it's film history. I think it should be into a class that is required, especially for majors that are, largely like dominated by like historically anyway, and in their like fields by the same demographic, which is usually your cis white dudes.
I can back that. Yeah, I definitely feel like I think I agree. Like there is a conversation to be had there, but I also agree with you. Like maybe in the context of a history course is not the best, cleanest place to do it, because it does. You're right. It just makes it what it is it muddies it, right? It muddies the this is bad with the but it's important, and you shouldn't have the but it's important. It should just be a this is bad.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If you're like, yeah, Citizen Kane, you blah blah blah, it's film history, and then they're like, also, this one, the Ku Klux Klan loves it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important though. Like, yeah, I think they should definitely move it away from that, but there should be more, a more
focused,
introspective approach to media that disproportionately affects marginalized groups in most majors. I think it should be important.
I can agree with that.
I just can't imagine coming out of like a 4-year degree and being like, yeah, no, there's no racism in scientific and which is like
still
funny, but also something I literally heard the other day.
I hate everything about that, and I'm sorry that is the people you have to deal with.
Like, well, the computer themselves, they can't be racist. It's just code. You're like, yeah, that's like, it's the stance of that neutrality being used as like a blanket protector of like, no, computers can't be racist because ones and zeros. You're like, yes, of course, computers can't be racist because of ones and zeros. But if the person who is making those ones and zeros heavily prefer traits that are associated with whiteness, guess what? Your computer's fucking racist, and you got to work on it.
Yeah.
But
It's a responsibility thing. is what it is. It's a
Yeah.
I mean, as with everything in this sphere, it comes with a steady helping of you have to people actually have to approach it in good faith and not coming in here being shitty about it from the get go. But which I will say, I never heard, thank God, I never had a whole lot of like, we really didn't have a lot of that. Oh, this industry isn't problematic. I think, and maybe it's just because it was an arts program.
Maybe it's
And
because Harvey Weinstein was a hot button topic when you were in school.
True, and I mean it's an arts program. It's in a region that is very diverse and like it's like an inner city. Like the college is in the middle of the city. Like it's just in the middle of everything. So I feel like there is a difference in maybe just awareness of certain factors of it. Like there was absolutely never a conversation of, hey, is the film industry deeply broken? The answer was always, well, yeah, no shit. The more interesting conversation that not the more interesting, but like the conversation that I was actually able to participate in and ask questions about at the time was a lot of the, well, okay, yes, it's broken. What the fuck do I like? How what do? Because nobody, I don't think anyone questions, is it broken? Thank God. I genuinely can't imagine how infuriating that would be to have somebody say computers can't be racist. I hate that. I hate that a lot. And I'm sorry that that's what you have to deal with.
I'm not. I mean, I'm a journalism major. I don't deal with them.
I mean,
there's like 4 people in my program.
The idea you have to hear it is bad enough.
Yeah, no, it's really frustrating. But I think that there should be more attention in the university specifically towards like not only the instruction of how to perform well within the field, but how to not perpetuate the problems that are tied with like high performing people within the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's a very hot take. I think it is absolutely a thing that should happen.
It's hard to implement though, because you even say that though, and you've got like dozens of lobbyists up your ass being like, my son went to this school to learn how to program, and you told him not to say the N-word anymore. This is blasphemy.
I have siblings in college, and I don't want to get into my personal life very much, but I've definitely had to have conversations where they were like, I don't know why my school is telling me that it's not okay to be white. And I'm like, they are not saying that. If that's what you're getting out of it, you need to listen better. Because I don't care what class you're going to, no one is saying that. No one has ever said that.
The only people saying that are Ben Shapiro
racists.
Complaining that people are like, and now the left says it's not okay to be white anymore.
Exactly.
Actually, that is incorrect. It is okay. And it's like, well, no one's saying that. No one's saying that, actually. And the people that are saying that are fighting from a place where they're losing so heavily that they have to resort to extreme measures to get even a smidgen of movement forward.
And I think that it's I feel for let's pull it back out from my family specifically, but I feel for people in a similar situation. Well, you come from a small town, you come from middle of nowhere, you've come thinking, I am a good, upright citizen who has no pre-existing biases. And then you go to a place that has actual people who actually have learned things and actually are different and actually have can tell you, hey, here's what the world is like outside of your little bubble. And it's hard to engage with that. It's very difficult. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, ooh, I was so perfect when I went to college. Dude, I've talked about that before. I went into college with some real bad takes, just really bad takes, because I was
being a poor white person is the same as systemic racism.
Hey, listen.
And I'm glad. Well, no, I am glad how far you've moved from that take.
That's true. Yeah, dude, it's a bad take. It's a bad take that I was young and stupid for. But the key is then sitting down and actually engaging with the people around and things around you where they are, and not trying to be like, well, but I'm right though. But show me on this chart where I am wrong. And then they say, but well, right here, and they're like, but am I though? And that's where it becomes a whole.
I mean, I think that's not exactly how like the analogy goes, because a lot of times it's show me on this chart where I'm wrong, and the chart doesn't say you're wrong because the chart was written by someone exactly like you.
That's very true too.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
And so it's really easy to keep pointing at the chart, because if you keep pointing at the chart, it's going to keep saying you're right because it was written by someone who was pushing the exact same agenda that benefits you just standing there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it is, and like I said, it's not like I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's easy to engage with. I feel for people who come from that same situation that I did, who come from a specific type of lifestyle, specific type of family that it just wouldn't like. I'm not mad at myself for the opinions I held then. I am glad that I have moved away from them, but like I didn't fucking know any better. And so I feel bad for the other people who are in that same position and have to kind of go through that same thing I did, which is just realizing that, oh, what if I'm just very wrong? And there's an argument to be made, well, we live in an age of modern technology where there's no real excuse. But I don't know that I fully agree with that, just on the basis of if you don't know that you should be looking for something or should be aware of something, how can you even possibly be aware of it in the first place? Like it's one thing if
technology. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The technology is kind of like I get on a level. You're like, yeah, you have technology at your fingertips. You can just look it up. But you have to like know the things to look up, and you have to know why to care about them. And you have to like, sometimes it just takes a little bit of a jump start by someone being like, hey, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Yeah, no, and that's exactly, and that, that's what it comes down to. We started this conversation talking about Josh, and I don't know how we got this far into it, but I am not against it. I am just confused, perhaps. I don't know how we got here.
I was actually thinking the same thing, because I'm like, because I am very tired, and I usually have about a spare, I want to say 12 hours to turn this episode around over the course of the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
I usually try and do, right now while we're talking, I try and get a little summary up on the post, so I don't have to think about it later. I can do a silent edit, and then I can just slap it up in there. I'll already have named it, but this one is just like, well, we talked about the one true Josh, and then we talked about racism.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that is what going from topics that frankly don't matter to topics that matter a lot, I think is a lot of our brand. I think that's a lot of what we've kind of done and continue to do is be like, yes, this is a very silly thing that we're going to talk about, and then turn it into, well, let's talk about how everything is terrible. But it doesn't have to be forever. It can be fixed. Probably. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Unrelated. I really dig TikTok. I was talking to someone about this last night because a Vine reference was made, and by golly, I'm just so behind the times on Vine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I got TikTok, right? So that I wouldn't be behind the times on another social media that is making all the jokes. Huh? And there's just a lot of fun content on TikTok. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of music stuff. I'm seeing a lot of people who are like, stop using reverse grip on knives because there's literally no point that it's ever going to be important.
Using what?
Like, if you're fighting someone and then you want to be cool and you're holding your knife upside down, and it's like, well, there's no protection for your fingers, so just hold it normal.
I thought you meant like you're using like a reverse grip on a knife when you're cooking.
I also did for a second.
I think like chef's knives. I was like, people do that?
Yeah, the cool ones do.
I mean,
no, and I also have a lot of chefs I follow.
What if you have a trench knife? Then you have protection for your fingers. Checkmate, atheists.
Damn, you got me there, but then it skates off your fingers onto your arm because there's no crossbar at the bottom of the knife.
Wrong, actually. I have a brass knuckle knife thing.
Yeah, trench knives have the little brass knuckly things.
Yeah,
I know, but it's still going to skate off and it's not going to get that caught.
No, it gets caught and then I break the blade off with a twist of my wrist.
Jackson's right.
After your blade's been broken,
just be better at knife fighting, idiot. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're not that good at knife fighting.
You guys, I'm gonna make a claim. I don't think Noah's ever even been in a knife fight.
Yeah, unlike me. Unlike definitely been in a knife fight. At least 2.
Noah and I have knife fought each other. That's what he did when he came down to visit that one time.
You just said a moment ago that Noah's never been in a knife.
No, sorry, I meant Jackson and I. My bad. I said Noah.
Well, I'm just saying that Dan's credibility is clearly nothing at all. So I win this debate.
I think we can all say that none of us have ever been in a knife fight.
I think we can all say that with some confidence. Yeah.
I have never been in a knife fight. You're right.
It's just
sad.
It's just no. I was gonna go with it's just good to not get in knife fights.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I
just think on a regular basis, it's not something you should anticipate doing.
That's fair. Yeah, I think yeah, definitely that.
Why are you saying that like you think a good part of everyone growing up is getting in a knife fight?
I don't know, because it's a funny bit. Leave me alone.
Look, all I'm saying is a good part of when you come of age around here, your dad stabs you once or twice. It's fine. It's fine.
You trying to tell me your dad never stabbed you growing up? I mean, come on here. Well, what are we raising nowadays? Kids today don't know how to take a knife. That's all I'm saying.
You know, sometimes I am kind of amazed at like you'll hear the stories of someone's like stabbed 75 times, crawled away. I'm like,
How?
how?
So, you know what? You know how? Someone's really bad at stabbing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
At a certain point,
that's terrifying.
Just means your knife sucks.
Like, oh my god, that's terrifying.
Yeah, no,
But,
dude.
like, how can you be? I mean, I guess because a knife doesn't really like. Yeah, it's just.
The knife.
I'm always amazed whenever you hear that. Same with when you hear people like fell off a mountain and broke a leg, but otherwise they're fine. It's a 200-foot drop. Like, how did? How?
Well, I mean, the knife is someone kills you, right? It's the blood loss. Like that. I mean, you get a. I mean, yeah, knife will kill you, whatever. But like, usually it's the blood loss.
Yeah, I guess that is the difference. Because like yeah, I guess it's just still. I'd rather not be stabbed.
I would also rather not be
stabbed.
stabbed. If you have to get in a knife fight, make sure you're the stabber, not the stabby.
I would probably rather get stabbed than stab someone.
That one I can say with 100% confidence that I do not agree with. I would much rather not get stabbed.
I'm not going to go out trying to stab someone, but if it comes down to a you versus me kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to stab somebody.
I just feel like I'd be sad forever.
Oh, I would be very sad about it, but
if I got stabbed, I wouldn't be sad forever. I'd just be kind of like pissed off for a bit.
How long?
Also,
how
I'm not
long?
talking about stab to death. I'm talking just like a one stab. You know?
How long is it? How long is an appropriate amount to be mad at somebody for stabbing you? At what point do you have to you're like, nah, dude, you were just doing what you had to do. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not saying stab. This isn't like a life or death stab.
No, this is just
like
a normal stabbing. This is a Saw situation where you have to stab. You have to either stab or be stabbed.
I would have gone with the end of Scream, but yeah,
sure.
Saw.
I haven't seen Scream, so
yeah. Spoiler.
Someone gets stabbed.
Damn, Noah, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't wanna stab somebody.
I mean,
I feel like I want to not stab someone more than I want to not get stabbed.
I mean, I think
I don't know.
it's a very respectable way to feel about it. I definitely am not that noble or like.
I don't even think it's noble. I just don't want to stab somebody. I'd just be sad forever.
I don't know. I definitely would rather stab than be stabbed. 100%. So you think a week? You think a week after you've been stabbed is a good, and then you have to forgive the person, or you should be like willing to.
I don't think that you have to forgive the person who stabbed you.
No.
I think that's a weird statement to tack onto there. If we're being completely honest.
What is a normal amount? What is a normal amount? Like, how long is a normal amount of anger?
I don't think you ever have to forgive them. I think you will eventually get over the anger, but I don't think that there's a point where, oh man, I can't believe Dan stabbed me. Well, it's been a week. Better forgive him.
Well,
what do you think, Jackson?
The real question is, how cool is the person that stabbed you?
That is very true. Was it a very cool stabbing or was it a lame stabbing?
Yeah, if it's like a loser and they're mean, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna forgive them that quick. But if it's like, if somebody cool it's like one of my friends stabs me, I'd be like, come on, dude. And then it'd be all right.
For instance, if Rob stabbed you on your way to a Lil Milk concert.
No, how mad would you be mad at me if I stabbed you? Hypothetically,
I'd be dead furious because I'd be like, well, why would you stab me? Because I would know that someone would be like, hey, you should stab Noah. And you're like, what? No, why would I stab Noah? And they'd be like, well, I mean, what if it was you versus him? And you'd be like, oh, fuck, you got me. And then you'd stab me. You can't tell me that someone wouldn't like really shittily talk you into it and be like, you gotta stab him, dude. You just gotta stab him.
Just once.
What amount of money?
Kill him, just stab him in the leg.
What amount of
Walt
money
Disney
is
walks up
to
you and says, here's $10, go stab Noah. I'd be so fucking angry. Because I know you're not going to share that $10. That's not even enough to cover my hospital bills.
Yeah. You talk about those stupid posts on Facebook. It's like, for $1 billion, would you slap your mom?
Man, I'd punch my mom for $1 billion. You kidding me? If someone cash in hand comes up to me, yeah, 50-50, me and my mom, here we go.
I'd punch her mom.
There's literally That's because it's always a ridiculous amount of money and a very small thing. It's like,
Yeah.
would you like punch him on the arm for $1 billion? I'm like,
I like
Yeah.
the ones that are just someone gives you $1 million. Would you take $1 million to hug a man? And I'm like, bruh.
yeah, it's or the ones that are like for you get paid $1 million to live here for a month, but you have to take one of your third ad on Facebook. I'm like, dude, and it's like a mansion, and it's like free food and Wi-Fi. I'm like,
It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
yes.
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
live there with like someone I hate.
I like the
As
one
long as
that's
they don't
like
stab
you
me
have to
once.
how $1 million to live in a graveyard for a month, and I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, it's like if it's gonna be like what would you for this much money, and then the thing that they're offering is just like, oh, that's mildly inconvenient. Or like if it's like the mansion thing, it's like that's a great situation. You're living in a mansion.
You live for
And
free
you
in
get
this
paid $1 million.
mansion and you
I
get
feel
$1
like the bad
million.
one- I feel like the
But
bad
you
one for
have to
that is
live
just
Gotta bring
with
a
your cousin
friend.
Joe.
that's the thing, right? The bad one is just who are you adding in that? But then again, if it's fucking
Who are you
like, who are you
friends with
following?
on Facebook
Exactly.
that you can't put up with them
For $1
in a
million
for $1 million.
massive
mansion.
house?
Yeah,
Stay in your room all day for all I care.
yeah, dude. It does not say you have to like go and
I mean,
be
like,
pals. You just
That's
have
what
to-
I
if
do
we're gonna be
now. It's not that
I mean,
hard.
Yeah,
If we're gonna be completely honest, it's not because like it's an actual question. It's because everyone's answer is yes. And they
and
want to see who their third ad is, and then they share the post and tag them.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it
yeah.
is. It's
Just to gain traction.
exactly. I know what it is.
Whenever,
But
whenever
it
I see my
also
friends do it, I'm like, you jabroni, you didn't have to do that. We know you'd live with your mom for $1 billion for 2 days. Like, stop acting like this is something cool.
That's definitely
Like-
one of my favorites when it's like someone tagging a family member and being like, LOL, hope you can put up with me. Or the people who are like, haha, my personality trait is being toxic.
Yeah. I just hate when they're like, you will be very wealthy if you like forever, and we'll give you cash on the spot if you make your mom's face hurt for half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Dude, I'm not gonna pretend like I get it. I got nothing.
Because like you know, it's like the worst. Would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, would you rather lose both your legs?
I've
Or-
always liked Would You Rather as a game.
Yeah, but it's that, but just bad. Like, would you rather like get all your limbs cut off or have to eat your least favorite ice cream flavor? You're like, well, probably I'll take the ice cream.
I guess.
It's really not a.
I'm deeply lactose intolerant. I die if I eat ice cream. I still might take the ice cream.
Speaking of things that we can't have, no Red Bull this week.
No Red Bull
No
this
Red Bull.
week.
Oh, I was gonna talk about that real briefly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't get
Yeah,
to
hit it.
have the actual canned Red Bull. I was out and about. However, Wawa is doing a like mixed fucking cold beverage, not like a alcoholic cold beverage, but like a mixed cold beverage, kind of like a chiller. I think is what they're fucking called. And it was real fucking good. It was.
You know, Sonic is also doing that, and I was there the other day, but I didn't get it because I was like, I want to save it for the can. I almost like hit the button. Was like, can I buy a can of it? But I didn't want to be that guy, so I just didn't say anything.
Yeah, I definitely recommend just solely based on that. They had a frozen one too, but it was way too cold out for me to want to have that on the day that I was at Wawa.
Should have got a hot one.
They have a whole show about that, I hear.
Would you drink a hot Red Bull?
Oh,
For $1 million?
No, you don't get anything. I'm just like, if I were to like have a pot of Red Bull on the burner, and I poured you a glass, would you take a sip?
now this is embarrassing, but
the warm
I gotta be
Kool-Aid thing all
honest,
over
the
again.
money edition does not make me any more or less likely to say yes. The answer was already going to be, yeah, I'd try it.
Thank you.
But the money, like, and that's the embarrassing part, is the money doesn't make me go, yeah. I was already just gonna be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
drink a warm Red
same.
Bull.
Yeah, I feel
What's
like
it
it's one of
gonna
those
do?
things where if someone is if I'm at a friend's house and he's like, "Hey, you want some warm Red Bull?" I'm gonna look at him and be like, "What the fuck?" But like, if he's offering it, there's a reason that he has it. Like,
I made this for you.
You're over at
Exactly.
Jackson's house and he's like, hey, you want some warm Red Bull? And you're like, well, there's a reason he has it. Then he cracks open an ice cold can from the fridge and pours it into a pot right in front of you. How long are you mad before you're allowed to forgive him?
That's a month at least.
mhm.
I'd rather be stabbed. Just once though. And not like that big of a knife. I mean, come on.
Yeah, how big does a knife have to be?
Oh, like a
Jackson
medium-sized
offers you a
pocket
warm
knife.
Red Bull to stab me. Do you say yes or no?
Wait, you give me a warm Red Bull, but I have to stab you?
No, you give Dan a warm Red Bull, but Dan has to stab me if he takes the warm Red Bull.
Wait, what a weird. Wait,
Can we-
What's the?
Can
So
we do
here's
a
the-
would you
here's the
rather like bonus
So
content
here's
at
the
some
triangle you've created. No, I just want to be very clear about this triangle.
point?
I have to heat up Red Bull.
Yes.
You have to get stabbed,
Yeah.
and Dan has to stab you.
And consume the warm Red Bull.
Yeah.
He can
Yes.
do that
Why
first
would I
if it
say?
makes it easier.
Yeah, sure, do whatever. I'll give him the Red Bull. It's up to him if he's gonna stab you and drink it. What a
Is it
weird
I have
scenario.
to stab you if I drink it, or I get to stab you if I drink it? Asking for clarity's sake.
You have to stab me if you drink it.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Would you drink this warm Red Bull if you had to stab Noah?
Can I
No.
taste the Red Bull first to see if it's any good?
No, you have to stab me.
Damn.
Wait.
I don't know,
Wait, no,
man.
how about this?
If I take just a sip, can I
So-
just do a little stabbing? Can I just kind of poke at you?
The stab is all up to you.
Oh, okay.
So wait, so Noah, here's a scenario for you. You come over. Dan and I have an apartment together. You come over to Dan and I's apartment. We're roommates, and I give you a glass of hot Red Bull, and then Dan just stabs you. Who do you forgive first?
You. I don't even need to forgive you. You just gave me a warm Red Bull, which I would think is weird. But that's about it. But then Dan's just like, sup, bitch, and stabs me. Unacceptable.
You think Dan would
Absolutely
call you the B
unacceptable.
word?
I wanna figure out in what context. I basically just jump you as you come in my front door. Like that's basically what's going on in this scenario.
Here you go, Noah. Here's some Red Bull I made for you.
Don't turn around.
I've been stabbed.
I don't know what circumstances would have had to progress for me to get it to
Someone
that
would be
point.
like, "Ah, beans! I've been stabbed."
No.
Trade offer. I get a warm Red Bull. You
Stabbed.
get stabbed.
So I can't
I
believe that
want
this
to try warm
happened.
Red Bull now.
I can't
No!
believe that this happened connected to I spending the weekend with my brother and him just being like, all right, Noah, you go to Wawa and they're like, your burger, giraffe meat. Do you eat that burger?
Yes. What kind of business is
Wait,
no?
what?
And I'm like, did they already make it for me? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then yeah.
The
I'm not
giraffe doesn't get
saving a
more dead if
giraffe.
you don't eat it.
But then it's just like, so you go to Wawa and they're like, sorry, all our meat is whale. Do you eat it? And I'm like, what Wawa is this?
Why do they have whale? There's Wawa around here.
It's black market Wawa that has all the different stuff.
Oh, you went to the whale Wawa. Sorry, we were supposed to meet at the giraffe one.
The whale law, if you will.
I
Sorry.
hate the idea of just being like, hey, Noah, you went to Wawa, right? You got a burger? It's giraffe meat. Do you eat it? Like you didn't know. Like they hand you the burger, and as you're walking away, they whisper like,
Yeah, burger day is kind of weird today.
like, hey man, that's a giraffe burger, by the way.
I love this.
Amazing.
I love this so much.
Would you eat it?
I listen. I am all for. I've talked about that before. That there are so many wild and weird animals that I desperately want to try.
Exotic meat is not something I'm inherently against trying. I'm just against the methods that I know it would be acquired.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah, I'm definitely
I
not.
think-
I'm not out here like, hey, what if you poach an animal and then it's okay to eat it?
I
No.
think that's
Yeah,
how
was
it
this
all
Wawa
came.
giraffe
The whole
burger ethically
conversation started. Even we were
established?
talking about ethically sourced whale. Like,
Ooh, can you lab
had
grow
someone
whale?
give you ethically sourced whale, would you eat it? And I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Can you? Because they do the lab grown meat now, right? That's a thing that is slowly becoming more and more
I have no
popular.
idea. I've never tried.
If
I've
you
never
lab
looked
grow
into
whale,
it.
that'd be a pretty big lab.
would
I
this
do
or a
love
very
the
small
idea
whale.
that you have to lab grow the entire whale, not just
I
a
love-
lab, not just a whale
Like,
steak.
sorry, we can't make a normal amount of whale meat.
Wait, if you lab grow the whale and then kill it and eat, that's no different. That's the same thing.
Yeah, we cloned a whale, raised it to full term, had an artificial birth, raised it to adulthood, and then slaughtered it. But it never saw the ocean, so it doesn't really count as a real whale, right, everybody?
Amazing.
We fed it, we talked to it, and then we murdered it. I also just like the idea of the scientists being like, yeah, we can make whale meat in the lab. We just can't make a small amount. We have to make a whale-sized amount only. Otherwise, the specifications just don't add up.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, otherwise it's just cow. Otherwise, but if we make a lot of it and do it just right, it's whale. Yeah, I need it, though.
Funny.
All right, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we should
We
wrap
gotta
it up.
go.
Thanks for listening to this shit show.
This
Would
is
you
long.
listen to the podcast again?
We
If
talked
you
about
do, you
juggalos.
have to slap your best friend.
Listening to this podcast is basically just slapping my best friend for an hour a day, an hour a week rather.
Would you rather follow the podcast at the Off the Air on Twitter
Oh my
or
God.
punch your mom?
Wait, they have to do one or the other?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh no! You must do one.
Haha, yes.